Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Dinks with Kinks. I'm your host, John, and with me tonight, as always, the very beautiful, the very laugh-filled Miss Rebecca.
Hello, everyone.
And a man
You did that to yourself.
I did do that to myself. I'll explain in a little bit.
Okay.
And a man with few words, but all the words are meaningful, Mr. Shep.
Good evening.
Ooh.
Yeah, so right before we did our intro, I did our intro, but I did it for our live stream, which you can find at twitch.tv/The Dondera every Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. And we are, in fact, on that social media at Dinks with Kinks on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So reach out to us. We've had a lot of people reach out to us about like all kinds of cool subjects. About stuff we've covered. And if there's stuff you want us to cover in the future, please let us know. I've added a couple things in the wheel from our response. Reach out and touch us. So
with consent.
Sorry. I know, like, I'm all flustered and I don't know where I'm at today. My knickers are in a twist.
Oh,
and I'm ready to talk about tonight's episode. Oh, God. Y'all have to give it to me. You didn't see it coming. You didn't see me building it.
I didn't. And it literally smacked me in the face. Like,
I tried not to see it, but I can't unsee it.
I love it when I can come into this recording with my pun ready and loaded to go and just pretend to be something and just go through all of it just to bring it to that.
And
how deeply Shep's face is buried in his hands.
You should have seen our face, audience. I know you can't, but both of us, both Shep and I, had the same expression, and then we face palmed at the same time.
Because I think the audience doesn't know that I don't let y'all in on what it's going to be. You just don't know what's going to happen. Shep, how you feeling, man? How you feeling about it?
I lost all feeling. It's gone.
Oh, you know what? You know what, John? It made me a little moist in my panties. It
little moist in your panties. Good.
A little moist in my panties.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're wearing panties because tonight that we should all be wearing panties because we are in fact talking about the panty fetish. And we are going to go pantaloons. We're going to go so far into it. Like, we're going to talk about like every aspect of what a panty fetish is. Of course, let's start with the basics. It is, of course, paraphilia, which is an attraction to something other than genitals or sexual objects. It's like any type of clothing object or foot fetish or anything that doesn't have to do with your typical bog standard genitals. So, panty fetish.
My genitals are not box standard. They're perfect.
Well, I'm doing the average across the country, across the world, for our international listeners too. You know, we're just putting all the genitals in one bag, and we're just gonna say it's average.
It's like shake and bake.
Shake and bake. We're gonna put all our genitals in panties. That's what we're doing right now. All the genitals are in panties. So, did you guys know this was a fetish?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
How about you, Shep?
You'll betcha.
Panties? Well, yeah, there. Now, the one thing that really strikes me funny about this one is it's not an underwear fetish. It is a panty fetish. Primarily feminine underwear. So, like, men's briefs, get them out of here. Boxer shorts, get them out of here.
What about Speedos?
But we can probably keep boy shorts if they're for a lady.
Oh, no Speedos?
We can do Speedos if they're for a lady.
Hammocks. Oh,
because
no, they're for ladies.
For ladies, and you know, I know you guys are saying, well, what about trans people? What about cross-dressers, femboys, men? Let's go ahead and let's put this out there. Panty fetish is not just an underwear fetish, it's a feminine underwear fetish. Not necessarily for the gender, but just for the derivement of the clothing.
The aesthetic.
The aesthetic.
It is not gender, it is the aesthetic. That's a better way of putting it. So the aesthetic is feminine. It's
absolutely
a more feminine look.
Because, you know, there are a lot of men out there who wear panties.
Yeah, there are actually.
Yeah.
And I I don't find like I don't like I find that sort of attractive, not in the way that like a fetish or you know a kink like, but I wouldn't like. I've seen men in women's underwear, and I think it's nice. I don't find it. Yeah, it's nice.
I'm gonna be honest. As someone who's worn women's underwear more than one time, it's comfy. It's softer than men's underwear. I'm gonna tell you right now, so much more comfortable. Like, you know, anytime you hear a woman complaining about underwear, I'll be like, bitch, you don't know. Try men's underwear for a hot minute. Because they're like, sandpaper works. That's an acceptable.
Well, that's only because
underwear material.
You know, if you guys wipe properly, you would need sandpaper to keep it clean.
Listen, I wipe just fine. I bidet then wipe. Okay, and I let that bidet just go. I get in there.
Okay, we're going way off target.
Yeah, we really are. Let's not dive down that rabbit hole.
Oh, sorry.
Chip, have you ever worn panties?
Done the thong thing. Yep.
You've done the thong thing? Yeah.
I mean, my ass is quite tattooed, so yeah.
Oh, that is true. That is true. You have a very nice, colorful ass. It's very nice.
I mean, okay, I don't know. I didn't understand it, though, because, I mean, as soon as I put the thing on, it's gone. I can't find it. It's in my ass somewhere. I can feel it, but I can't see it. And I don't know if I'll ever get it back. That's my thoughts as soon as I put it on.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Everyone's experiences is their own. Don't put your experience on top of mine.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry.
Now, my opinion of thongs has no bearing on the fact that I can't wear them because I just have no ass, so it just kind of slides to the left, slides to the right, and just falls off. But I am not a fan of thongs. I think they're kind of gross when you think about it.
Butt
floss. It's butt floss. It is just literally rubbing it against your anus as you rip ass into it all day long, and I'm just not into that personally. Now, you give me some like cute like boy short panties or just like regular, brief panties. That's cute. I can get behind it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can get behind it. But thong, I'm just like, that has been in your butt crack for hours.
I don't know why that makes me giggle so much.
Should make you giggle. Just next time.
I think it's because thongs are like the epitome of sexy. Like that's what pop culture is like. Oh, the epitome of sexy, like thong. You get to see ass, but like you're right. If you really think about it, it's not that sexy.
Yeah, that's one pop culture that should have been popped back in.
Yeah. So, but we're going to talk about thongs, and we're going to get into it, like why people are attracted to them. Of course, underwear started becoming a very popular thing way back when. I couldn't tell you exactly when underwear started becoming. Undergarments have been a thing. Like pantaloons have been a thing. Like
underwear started to be a thing as soon as it started to show more ankle.
Yeah. So
and then knees.
Actual panties became a thing probably around the time, I would imagine, where they started becoming popular when miniskirts were invented, or at least I hope they did. Yeah.
I think panties have because it wasn't an undergarment until the turn of the century. I mean, It's just like the 20s is when, and even then panties were still like silky shorts. They weren't panties as we know them now. But yeah, I mean, they weren't even an undergarment until the turn of the century when women started wearing underwear, because they were pantaloons. They were open crotch things because you couldn't necessarily pee. Like they were just open. They were, you
can't get a lot of those dresses off all the way to pee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There was times where clothing was like, all right, this took me an hour to get into. I'm either going to just hold it all day. We're not peeing like that. We're not going to the restroom.
Oh, and when I say turn of the century, I mean turn of the 20th century, not the 21st century. Because I realize that for me, the turn of the century is a totally different century than some of our listeners. So, yeah.
That being said, let's talk about like the first reason like people have this kink and this fetish.
Okay.
It's taboo. It's your underwear. There's something like scandalous about seeing, and like that's why I wanted to talk about the history of them when they started becoming a thing. Because if you got a brief view of a woman's undergarments,
brief view. I see what you did.
Yeah,
there.
brief view. Yeah, right. It was almost scandalous. It was almost a tease. So you kind of equate that, and you build that in your head as somebody. Oh, this is something naughty. I already see. A woman's underwear that has been touching your genitals all day long. Just think about that for a hot second. Like, men are attracted to women's genitals, or anybody who is attracted to women's genitals. Well, name an article of clothing that gets more time with a woman's genitals than the underwear.
My pants when I'm not wearing any?
Well, yeah. We're not talking about... This is not the pants fetish.
Okay.
Play along
well,
here.
You said...
Play along.
Oh, I'm playing along. You're right. The panties. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. In a perfect world, no one wears underwear and you just, junk all day long unless you have a panty fetish. And then you're hoping they're wearing panties.
Mm-hmm. I have some really cute panties. I have a cute collection. I have nerdy ones. Great.
I'm really happy that men's underwear have started to become really cool too. Like I can get like my crazy underwear and whatnot. They're not just like weird things like, do you see Bob over there? He's wearing like silk boxers. That's like that's scandalous. Now just everyone wears crazy underwear and I'm really happy about it. And no, this is not sponsored by MeUndies. But hey, MeUndies, you should sponsor us. Just saying, throwing it out there.
Oh my god, shameless promo.
Shameless promo to someone who's not giving us any money.
Yeah, and then of course in time that's also whenever the upskirt pictures started to get really popular too. Like the under the skirt panty shot.
Oh, and then you got panty raids. Panty
raids. Oh, we're gonna talk about panty raids here in a hot minute.
Okay.
And because that's for a whole different kink. But yes, you were right. No, it's for this kink, but a whole different branch. So right now we're just talking about the visual aesthetics. You don't steal underwear because
we're on the main shaft. We haven't branched out yet.
No, we're still working. We're still working the shaft.
I think that there's a tease about it, and from my perspective, is when you see panties, like an upskirt shot or somebody wearing panties, and it's like that. It is that barrier. It's that whole. You can touch it and you can feel it, and especially from somebody who wears them and somebody has been felt outside of panties. It's that edging. It's that tease of. It's there, but you're not there, and there's something really hot about that the whole denial almost.
Absolutely. That's when we talked about. Yeah, I could go to stand here a little bit more about that from Rebecca. And we talked about this when we covered like pantyhose and nylons and whatnot. It's that it is that barrier, but it's also the tease because it's right there. It's right behind that fabric. Everything you've ever wanted is there. And so, the aesthetics of it is very, very, I understand that one completely. That one's pretty self-explanatory. And that's why I wanted to get that one completely out of the way. Now let's talk. Miss Rebecca, have you ever done a panty raid?
Other than when there's a sale at the store? No.
Yeah, right. We do not condone panty raids. That became a thing. And
that is non-consensual. That is
non-consensual. But why would someone steal underpants? If not to wear them themselves. Oh wait, we'll get to that later. Let's talk about why men enjoy having a woman's underwear. Like, you ever given a partner a pair of your underwear? Not to wear, but just some underwear.
No.
It's actually a very common, popular thing.
Actually, not true. Now that I'm thinking about it, yes, I have. Mm-hmm. It's been a while. But yes, I actually have. Yeah. I was like, hey, you should keep that.
It has my scent on it. It's a very primal aspect because, back when we talked about the smells, when we talked about senses and the sense of smell and stuff like that, it is a boatload of pheromones and other wonderful smells locked into one piece of fabric. And most underwear, it's pretty absorbent. They hang on to them smells. Again, my whole argument with the thong. But so it is very popular for men to want the undergarments of the woman for its aroma. Shep, have you ever sniffed a pair of panties?
No.
Rebecca, have you ever sniffed a pair of panties outside of saying, "Are these clean?"
Yes. Yeah. No,
elaborate.
I haven't sniffed. Like, well, I mean, okay, like I haven't sniffed them like when they've taken them off, but I have like smelled them like when they are on, and I don't know. It's something I have like the pheromone thing. Like I love that scent, and yeah. So I have. Mm-hmm. and it's probably something about the scent. It's so unique. Everybody's pheromones are unique to them, and that's like one of the few places in your genital area that you don't necessarily put a lot of perfume or like a lot of extra stuff on there. So it is very primal. It is very natural, and so I don't know. I enjoy that. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. It's actually a popular trade to sell one-used panties. That has probably been around for as long as items have been sold for sexual pleasure. Is, do you want to buy my used underwear? We talked about the foot fetish episode and the sock fetish. People sell their socks and stuff like that. But yeah, people sell their panties just so people can have that smell.
I imagine the selling of panties came around even before the socks, because I think the foot fetish and the selling of socks, I believe that kind of got more popular later on. What do you think?
I think it's always been around. It's just people didn't talk about it. Because like I said, if I say, oh yeah, I could go for some used panties, it sounds slightly less weird because it does involve genitals than socks. I am not saying it's weird by any stretch of the means. Buying someone's clothes, no matter what part of the body it's coming from, same level, across the board. But as far as like acceptance in the mass populace, it's weird to quote unquote buy underwear, but it's even weirder to buy socks. So I think it's been around the entire time, same amount of time. It's just people didn't talk about it. You would admit to being a panty buyer, but not a sock buyer.
I don't know. I think. Well, I mean, people are attracted to different scents. I mean, some people like gasoline. So I mean, it doesn't surprise me that people want to smell feet or panties. Like it doesn't. Like
I am completely on board with that. Like I think, especially if it's consensual. Like you're not panty rating. If you're actually just saying, "Hey, can I have a pair of your underwear?" and you're across the board, it's perfectly normal. It's actually quite primal. It's one of those things where you are literally wanting something to smell because it triggers an arousal to you, and the imagination it triggers with it. Because like I said, if I smell your underwear and I know what you look like, I can picture you just in that underwear, just wearing it, being sexy, being aroused in that pair of underwear.
I think as a primal sub, I feel like it would be incredibly hot if somebody asked me for my underwear. I really would. I do. I'm like, hey, can I keep these, or can you wear these and bring it? Like, I think it would be hot. I think that would be hot.
First she'd blush, and then she'd giggle, and then she's like, yes, you can.
But I don't. Right. Even if they didn't sniff it, like even if they didn't want it to smell, even they just wanted it, even if they just wanted to have my panties, I would totally be on board with that.
When her panties
all right, Shep, you heard her.
You must sniff it.
Go ahead and register the website Rebecca'sPanties.com.
Okay, I want it.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And soon you'll be able to buy her panties. And we'll do like, I tell you what, we'll do like one of those like reward things that every like 10th person will get a pair of all of our underwear. But it'll all be the same underwear, so you won't know who wore what.
Instead of, we can do it along the line of the familyfeetlovers.com.
What underwear would we all wear?
Rebecca'sPantylover.com.
We could all wear panties. Could we all wear matching panties?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I'm down for that.
But you know what, Dondera, I want them to be panties that have your face on them.
Oh my.
You know what? I have been talking to our merch people. I have been looking around. If I could find where there were actual cute panties, I would put my face on them. Mm-hmm. And then the back of my head as well. So the front had the back of my head, the front had my face, and then the back will have the back of my head. So it was like I was in your crotch. And I'll call them my phasmophobia underwear, and that's a whole joke for another BSBN thing. A thing we used to do. We used to crawl into each other's crotches and be like the crotches.
Okay, we're moving on now.
and see, John, this is how you know when you're truly popular. I will never reach such stardom as you, because never has my face been on socks. Never has my face requested to been on panties. But you are there, sir. You are there.
I mean, have you seen the face? Have you seen the face that I put on socks? It's not something that I'm proud of. I'm incredibly proud of it, but it's something I should not be proud of.
Totally derailed. We need to talk about panties, not socks.
I said
let's
panties.
talk about... Okay, well, let's go ahead and switch gears then. So we've talked about the scent. We've talked about why you would buy a woman's panties. But there's another reason to buy them. Because you want to wear them. Mm-hmm. And like I said, and we're going to talk heavily about cross-dressers, but there are women who also enjoy wearing panties because they are aroused by them. They get aroused by the thought of being kind of like chastised in underwear. Like, they like to wear the tighter underwear. And everything that we described before with the scent and the appeal of it, they enjoy wearing them. So now, let's go and turn that upside down. Men or trans people, and I say trans because a trans male could want to wear underwear and still be a male, which makes them a cross-dresser. Which is okay, because I love cross-dressers. But yeah, we're cross-dressers because of its connotation of feminine. The arousal of wanting to present as I am more feminine, I am submissive, or I am dominant and feminine.
I'm dominating the femininity.
Oh, actually, yeah. I know a couple of dominant full-time cross-dressers. And they're only dominant when they are dressed. But I think it's because they denote femininity with power. Well,
I mean, yeah.
Wow, you can't say exhibitionism, but you can say femininity without messing up. I'm baffled.
I know, yeah. I don't even understand.
I'm proud. Of both of those words, I would rather him be able to say femininity.
Yeah, it's something I use more often.
I think there is something very appealing about feminine underwear on men, and it is that whole, not even just, I feel like sometimes pop culture makes it seem like, oh, they're trying to be, sissy or whatnot, but it's not it. It's like you said, like embracing the power of being feminine and making that something where it's not just one or the other. It's a combination of the two, the feminine and the masculine together. And I think that there's something very sexy about that combination of both feminine and masculine at the same time.
And yeah, and that's a good point, because I know a lot of people who have fetishes not for wearing panties themselves, but seeing men wear panties. Like seeing erect genitalia behind women's underwear. Mm-hmm. And that is actually very popular. In my short time on Grindr, the train wreck that website is, there were lots of people that were just like, hey, I'm really into seeing men in women's underwear. I don't want to wear them myself, but I enjoy watching someone masculine wear feminine. And I actually know several women who have the same, kink. They enjoy watching someone who's masculine become feminine. And we talked about this in the cross-dressing episode and in the what was the other one we covered in?
I'm sure we would cover it in the hosiery episode where...
Well, we did. Yeah, we covered it in the hosiery episode as well.
Yes.
So yeah,
I think that from a female perspective, I think for me, what is very attractive about seeing a male in the feminine is that we're getting better as a society, but as a society, we are considered less than, you know, it in a general overall, like, and it hopefully it is trying to get better, but and so to see a masculine man embrace that as something that they embrace and that they feel confident in, and they embrace something that is so feminine, because, you know, what's more feminine than women's underwear? Like, not very much. And the fact that is so attractive it's attractive when a man finds that embracing of the feminine, that it's just hot. It's just like, oh, well, you find me equal and on equal footing, that one is not any more than the other, and that is attractive. Like when you're on the equal footing with somebody. So
absolutely. I think that is part of like the allure I have to it, is like one of those things, I see women as equals 100%. So at no point in time do I'm like, oh yes, I get offended because my partner dressed masculine. I don't care. Wear what you want. Yeah, you're either going to be cute to me or you're not going to be cute to me, and that's just my personal opinion. But it's not something that I'm going to judge or forbade on that. So when the roles kind of reverse, because there is that stereotypical masculine, and it's very toxic, and I wish we would kind of change that as a whole. But you know, I have better luck of winning the Powerball. So.
I mean, fair.
So when you see it kind of deconstructed like that, yeah.
I wonder if this is more of a branch or still on the same line, but wouldn't like bikini bottoms still be similar to panties, or is that kind of a different realm?
No, I mean, I think if it's an undergarment worn specifically against your genitals, I think that's where we're kind of drawing the line. Is it something and designed with feminine ideals, because it's not necessarily designed for a gender, just designed for feminine, and an undergarment. That's where we're kind of like pulling that line there.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I was just thinking timeline wise, because, you know, for the panty fetish became a thing first, and then, you know, when women were more covering, and then there was one pieces, and then finally it developed into the two pieces where you had the bikini bottoms and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. This is such a common kink. Where do you think bikinis came from? Like, why do we think we wanted to see that? It was like someone being in their underwear. And you could get away with it because it's swimwear. And, you know, men were just like 100% greenlit that. That's okay. That's appropriate because it's swimwear. You can't walk out in your bra and underwear. You can't go down the street in bra and underwear. But you make it slightly thicker, make it super water
slightly
resistant.
Thicker. Have you seen some of these bathing suits?
Oh, I meant like the material thicker. Yeah, because it's made of that like, you know, water thing.
Water thing, yes.
See, I can't.
It's made of water thing.
Femininity. That's gonna be my word to go to now. Like if I struggle at a word, yes, it's like the spandex material. Femininity.
Feminine.
It's acceptable because it's not quote unquote underwear.
Right.
But let's be honest, y'all.
It's underwear.
It's underwear.
I'm going to be honest. I have worn bikini bottoms as underwear when I was in college because I didn't have any disposable income. So I had like a set amount of underwear. And when I ran out, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm using these. And then when I ran out of those, I'm like, oh, I guess I need to do laundry. No, yeah.
Yes, you do. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Or
I
not.
like panties.
So
commend.
I think that's a pretty good. We have covered panties well,
and they covered us well too.
Yeah,
panties have covered us.
I
have so many different types of panties. There are so many different types.
Okay, while I pull up the wheel. Name the types of panties you have. Let's
Granny panty
me that I have
because I'm Shep is currently building Rebecca'sPanties.com, so our audience because they can buy them.
Boy shorts. I have boy shorts. I have
like
bikinis. I have hipsters. I have thongs. I have lacy. I have the lacy type. I have the lacy bikini type. I have the ones that tie. I have a G-string. I have one that came with like a set, and I'm like, this is just elastic. I don't there's no point in me wearing this. So yeah, I have a
riddle me this. Why is a G-string called a G-string?
I don't know. I have no
idea. Like, why is it not like a G-string?
There's nothing there?
I mean, that's probably the most realistic thing, because it's not in the shape of a G.
Did I say thongs? I do have thongs.
You said thongs.
Okay. Okay. I have sports underwear. That's made of a special, like the sports bra material. I have that for when I work out. So yeah, I have all sorts. So,
what is your personal favorite underwear? And this is a question for both of you. For your partner to wear, and no, the answer is I prefer no underwear is an unacceptable answer, because I want to know your favorite
partner
type
to
of
wear,
underwear.
Or for me to wear for my partner.
Well, for you that, and
for me to wear it for my partner. Okay.
Yeah, because we're talking about feminine clothes here, and since Shep is a straight male and you are a woman, or you could talk about for your partner to wear for you because you're bi.
Yeah.
But let's talk about feminine underwear. What's your favorite type of feminine underwear?
I love wearing lace underwear. Usually, I have several different styles of lace, and like that. I don't know. I feel really sexy when I wear lace underwear. So I have all different styles of lace underwear. But honestly, I like it really doesn't matter what type for my partner. I think any type of underwear works, but I like the boy shorts on somebody else. I mean, they don't look good on me. I don't feel I have them. I just don't feel comfortable in them. But I think the boy short look is really, really cute. I think it's that cross, that sort of ambiguous like look. I like that.
What about you, Shep?
I think my favorite pair is the pair that's laying on the floor. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Boy, and you know what? That's why I said at the very beginning of this question, no underwear is not an acceptable answer.
I didn't say no underwear. I said location. But
you know what I love?
Yeah, I know.
Is that when he said that? When he said that, we both face palmed. I love how both of you have made me face palm at one point in this episode.
Right?
But seriously, it's not so much a style really, because I'm more of a texture person, so I just like the more silky style or materials.
Yeah.
Of underwear, so not so much a visual, more of a texture for me.
Honestly, boy shorts are like, they're just cute.
Yeah.
They're cute. Yes.
Like, I don't have a real sexual attraction to panties because, like I said, I have a pantyhose fetish. So, get the panties out of here, put the pantyhose there. But honestly, if a girl is in boy shorts, or a boy, I mean, come on, I'm pan. I've seen some boys look really good in boy shorts. But boy shorts, just custom. Right in the boy loins, the boy shorts. So, while that was said, I spun the wheel. I know exactly where we're going.
I do have one quick question, though, on the underwear. For many of the fetish people, would crotchless underwear defeat the purpose? Because it's avoiding one of the important areas where you're trying to gain in the sense or the preferences and such.
I think it misses points on some of the branches, because like I said, we talked about three different factors. The visual aesthetic nails it. You can have a fetish for crotchless panties, 100%, because the visual aspect of it is I think that's where that lies. Now for the other two, for the scent, or no, because for wearing crotchless underwear, cross-dressing, yeah, that works. So I think it only just really misses.
I'm trying to cover all the types. So I was like, oh, what about these?
Yeah.
I feel like though crotchless panties are the nice hybrid because it allows you to keep the panties on. So you can still have, sex and still have the look the entire time. So I feel like that might work.
It's a very physical aspect thing. I don't know.
Yes.
That one kind of made me space out a little bit, so I'm sorry. I'll try to bring us back down to earth.
It's very what?
No, I did. I kind of just spaced out, but it's okay because I really like myself out there, and I was looking up, and I was kind of just stargazing with it. So let's boldly go where only a few people have gone before next week, and let's talk about astrophilia.
Astrophilia. Space. Okay.
The final kink. These are the voyages of the Dinks with Kinks, as we boldly talk about people who get boners from space.
I've been rewatching all these episodes. You know what? I'm here for it.
Astrophilia is our topic next week.
Oh my god. Sweet.
And if you want to hear a topic, us talk about something that we haven't before, reach out to us on that social media at Dinks with Kinks on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Yeah.
If it's astrophilia, I wonder if we could get a guest host, your personal astrophysicist on here.
Do you think we can get Neil deGrasse Tyson or Carl Sagan to come on? Boner.
Is Carl Sagan
space
alive?
Boners?
Is Carl Sagan alive?
No,
we can dig him up. We can dig him up and let's ask him about space.
But our number one, he has his own podcast, so maybe we could join with this one. Hey, we want to talk about astrophilia. You on this one?
Who are we talking about here?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh yeah, we can get. Yeah, I'll send a message out to him. I'll contact. By the way, Neil, if you're listening, because I'm sure you're a huge fan of this podcast because it's sex and science. So why don't you listen to this podcast?
You know who I think would be on this? You know who I think? Wes Wheaton. Wes Wheaton would totally come on here.
You mean Will Wheaton?
Will Wheaton,
who plays Wesley?
Yes, I was sorry. I was watching Star Trek the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, funny." That's what I was thinking. I was thinking his character.
Yeah. No, okay. I tell you what, Will Wheaton or
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Because literally is.
Or Neil deGrasse Tyson. If you're listening right now, because I know you're both huge fans of this podcast, listeners, go ahead and start tweeting them.
Or if you know them, let them know.
Start tweeting them out and be like, "Yo, they want you on this podcast. They're going to talk about space arousal, being aroused by space." I think you know what I want to say. A lot of scientists have this kink,
right? Astrophysicists, they have to have it.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, here, let's open this up. Anybody who is like a astrophysicist, please contact us. That would be great.
This would be so amazing.
Honestly, reach out
and touch us.
Reach out and touch us. Make first contact.
Oh my god, I can see next week's episode going. It's going to be all the space jokes.
Kink.
I can't wait to talk about your space balls.
Oh wow.
All right, on that note, thank you for everyone for listening. I hope you're proud of yourself, Rebecca. We
each got everybody to face palm.
We are 100% facepalm across the board. There we go.
We did.
All right, audience. Thank you guys so much for listening. We do appreciate everyone who has reached out to us. We've had several people reach out to us about past kinks. And they get bombarded with questions from me or from us because I'll be like, hey, do we have anybody do we want to ask this person anything? And so yeah, reach out. We're very friendly. We're very amped to talk. So everybody have a good night. I am your host, John Dondera, and with me as always, my favorite space cadet, Mr. Shep.
Till next time.
And a woman I wish was green because I kind of have a thing for it, Miss Rebecca.
Good evening.
It's a Star Trek reference. Look it up.
I'm aware.
Gonna
bang an
alien.
Oh my god.
Good night.